2020, the year that reminded us that if you hit rock bottom, there's only one way you can go, and that is up. The year that gave us a global pandemic, that gave us floods, that gave us forest fires, and gave us all the crap we can possibly handle in 1 year. And there's no reason whatsoever to ever set your flux capacitors to that year again after watching this video, because I want to give you the 5 best books I reviewed last year. I just picked 5 books that I think are really great, and the one thing that I have been looking at is usability. I have picked 5 books that I actually use in my games, in most of my games, in some of my games, but books that are actually on my table when I play games. Well, right now I play games behind my laptop, but still my books are on my table. There's one book I kind of cheated on because I don't use it yet. I'm still planning a campaign around it because it's so specific that I'm still planning a game around it, but I still think it's one of the greatest books I've ever opened, and it's from a fellow Belgian. So that's a great thing, promoting Belgian people who create Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition third-party books. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first one is a campaign setting, and I've said it a lot of times, it is the best campaign setting I have on my shelf. It is Svilland by Dream Realm Storytellers, a Turkish company that made a Norse campaign setting for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and it is absolutely stunning. I love it. My girlfriend is playing a character out of it. I'm playing a character out of it. We're not actually running in the campaign setting itself yet, but we're picking out a lot of stuff from it. It has information about the gods. It's Norse mythology in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. There's Vikings, there's seers in there. There's everything you need to build a Norse character or a Norse campaign, with monsters, with magic items, with subclasses, with world building. Everything is in here. It is absolutely great. Now, stating that, there are some lost in translation things in here where you have to read rules for a certain spell, and then my girlfriend, for example, read the rule for a certain spell and she was like, do they mean this or do they mean this? And I had to read it again and again and again, and then I said I'm gonna rule it like they were saying this, because I don't know for sure. So there's a few of these things in here, and that's because probably it is a Turkish company who don't have English as a native language, and it is their first real physical book, their first work, so I forgive them for that. I'm very happy with this campaign setting. It is the best campaign setting I have. The second one, of course, is Midgard, and I still play in Midgard a lot of the time because Midgard has the most content. Midgard is by Kobold Press, by the way. But this one it's just special. It's different. It's beautiful. The art is beautiful, and it just works. And I think they really deserve this spot for this year. The second book comes in the form of a bestiary, and this is the ultimate bestiary, the dreaded Accursed, the follow-up to Revenge of the Horde. And Revenge of the Horde is the first bestiary by Nord Games that I actually absolutely love, and I use it a lot. It's maybe the bestiary that I use the most up until this point, and the dreaded Accursed is actually the follow-up, and it is bigger. I mean, literally, it is a big thing. It is big, it is better, it has great art, and they just do a lot of great stuff with this. And the reason why I love this much is because it has a theme. The Revenge of the Horde was all about orcs and goblins and kobolds and like the horde creatures that we fight every day as adventurers, but they make them more interesting. They give them loot that you can actually pick up from them that makes sense. All that stuff is in there, and they do that again for the dreaded Accursed, which is of course all about undead and spooky characters, which I use a little bit less because it's more like a theme. Like undead is more like it has to fit in your campaign, while orcs, trolls and goblins fit in almost any campaign. But still, this thing is really an upgrade from the last book. While the last book was also very good, and it is an absolutely beast of a bestiary, and I'm so happy to have it in my possession. Thanks Nord Games for sending it to me. I absolutely love you for that. Small reminder, I have a review of all these things on my channel. I will probably link them in the description below, and I will also have links for buying them on the interwebs to get them to your house. If you're watching this channel and if you're not subscribed, you can really help me out by clicking the subscribe button below. Really helps a small-time YouTuber like me out a lot. And if you want to support me and see me keep doing what I'm doing, then make sure to check out my Patreon supporter where you can play with me as your Dungeon Master, get Dungeon Master tips, chat with me. I mean, there's all kinds of, play with me as a player. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Make sure to check it out. I thank you very much. Also, I need coffee to edit these videos, so I can buy coffee if you support me. And what would a top 5 be without a Kobold Press book? Here I am holding Deep Magic, which is a compilation of more than 700 new spells for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It is a tome. It is a big, fat book full of spells, and that's basically it. They give you new spells, but they also give you new schools of magic, ways to cast magic, ways to see magic, it's all about casting spells for all the spellcasting classes in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and there are some ridiculously cool spells in here. There's also some spells in here that might need a little bit more proofreading, which is a thing with Kobold Press because they make really thick books. There are some things that get lost to me, but other than that, the spells in here are great. Now, if you already have, let's say, the Warlock Grimoire or other books by Kobold Press, a lot of the spells are reprinted in this. This is actually a compilation of almost all the spells they have in their other books. They just threw them in one big book called Deep Magic, and they added more spells on top of it, and more schools of magic on top of it, so they added onto it. So if you already have all the other Kobold Press books, there's a lot of spells you will encounter that you already know, but there's also a lot of new stuff. But if you're like me, I have all the books right here, but I didn't read every spell in all the books, and I just opened this thing, and I absolutely love it for just putting all spells together. And my girlfriend actually uses it. She uses a lot of spells out of this one. She's always, before a session, she's always like, make sure to pick Deep Magic out of from your shelf and take it home, because I need to use it for this game because I have spells from it. This is a really cool book, Kobold Press. You did a great job on this. Great artwork, great writing, great spells, great humor, like every time. I mean, I absolutely love Kobold Press. It's not a secret, so yeah, Deep Magic. Another book, maybe a little bit less known by you guys, that I really love and use in my games is Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters. If you do not know who Wally DM is a YouTube channel run by a certain person called Wally, and he's a dungeon master, and he likes to create puzzle encounters, puzzle rooms, riddle rooms, stuff like puzzling encounters where you need to figure out where the heck you are going or how to open a door or whatever, and he is a freaking genius. I mean, his channel is nothing but puzzles. You just watch a video, he explains a puzzle, gives you the solution, gives you tips on how to run it, and he just put some of the most amazing puzzles in this book. I'm actually using this book a lot. I already used the gas chamber, I already used the gas chamber was very exciting, by the way. I used the prismatic awl, which I changed up a little bit to make it become a magic item they can actually carry around. I used another one in here which I don't remember at this point, and there are some puzzles in here that I'm planning to use in my upcoming games when I run them. I love this thing. It is always by my side. When I need a puzzle, when I need a riddle, when I need something, I open up this thing, and there's always something in here that I can use in my games. Also, if you buy this from the Dungeon No Drive-Thru RPG, physical, digital, whatever, you're supporting Wally DM, who is a small YouTuber like me. He's like bigger than me, but he's still a small YouTuber like me, and you're supporting him. He's already like Electrum bestseller on this thing, but I mean, it's a source of income for him, probably an extra source of income, but it still is a source of income for him, so you can really support him by picking this up. I recommend it if you like puzzle encounters. And the last book, the book that I actually not use, is Seeds of War, and I don't use it because I have to build a campaign around it, because this thing is completely different. It is from a fellow Belgian. He is from the French-speaking part of Belgium, while I'm from the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium, so we speak English with each other because we cannot understand each other. And he has built a very, very, very thorough book, and it is hard for me to explain what this is. Basically, it fits for every tabletop role-playing game, and it is a way to zoom out your game and play like a war game on a bigger scale. You can become a king, you can own land, you can attack your neighbors or go on diplomatic missions, and you can play from a zoomed out perspective. And then if you go on a diplomatic mission, for example, and you have to travel, you zoom back into your character and you do all this stuff, what you need to do in the forest, kill creatures, go on this diplomatic mission, return, and then you zoom out again, and you can have like, you may make all kinds of decisions, build harbors, build churches, build walls, go search for new stuff, new lands. It's all in here, and it's a very thorough system. And it needs 1, 2, maybe 3 read-throughs to really grasp, but they're making a app for it. An application on the computer for it, where you can keep track of everything, your income, your outcome, everything that happens when you play that kind of game on a global scale. So they are building an app because they successfully funded their Kickstarter, so I cannot wait for that app. And once the app is ready, I will use this system from Seeds of Wars in one of my games and make my players kings and people that own land, and I will just have them wage war against other provinces and stuff like that. I cannot wait for this one to actually join my game. And that is it for my first video of 2021. It is actually looking back at 2020 for third-party Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition material. Not all of these books were released in 2020, but they were all reviewed by me in 2020. So if you have any of these books, or you want to buy any of these books, or you're still on the fence for any of these books, make sure to check out my reviews about them. Make sure to click the links if you want to buy them, and make sure to comment below with your opinions. What are your top books for 2020? I hope your inspiration may guide you.